Is one of the participants that comes to the garden hears voices, and they're horrible voices that tell them that, you know, they're awful and tell them to do really, really awful things. And we were walking past the veg bed one day relatively recently, and they turned to me and said, you know, the man that follows me doesn't come to the garden. We're in the Vounder therapy garden, which is a garden in Eden's outer estate, where we invite people to come and use gardening as a way to improve their well-being. And it's predominantly a vegetable garden, but there are some beautiful wild and cultivated flowers here and some glorious trees. There is a big need out there, and while we're not the only people that can help those that need their well-being lifted, this is one really good way of doing that, and the more people we can get through the garden gate, the better.
Because I was having quite a hard time in school, wasn't really getting on with it, I was getting quite stressed with all the pressure of the exams. So I didn't pass my GCSEs, so I had a couple of years out of school, not doing anything. Went through a phase of depression because, you know, I didn't have anything to do. So I had to have a bit of counselling.
I'd lived in an abusive relationship for a few years. I'd been to the doctors, they'd put me on a group for abused women. So I went through that, but they also put me on this course for a therapy group to kind of help me get back to being myself, because I had anxiety, depression, complex PTSD.
It was fate, really. I was 28 years in the same job, in an office job, and not that happy with it. Then there was COVID and furlough gradually became redundancy, and then I was at a loss. I didn't know where I was going to go next.
The function of the farm is therapy. It's just a space for our participants to be in nature and be in and around nature, just a quiet, peaceful space. Whatever things there might be going on, they can leave that all behind, come here, do a bit of gardening if they want to, but they don't need to do that. So they can just sit and just be peaceful and spend some time here, or they can get stuck in as much or little as they want to.
I've gone from being trembling and nervous to happy, and I love it. Yeah, I'd happily come every day. It's such a good place to be.
You know, I want to become a horticulturalist, I want to be trained. Ideally, I'd like to get an apprenticeship up here, which I've applied for. I just want to get into a job and get involved. I'm really enjoying being up here. I'd like it to carry on.
Coping with life in general used to be a real effort for me. I've had some really low points, and but now I don't think about that anymore at all. I don't worry about going to work the next day and what's it going to entail, what's going to happen, because I know I can face anything.
There's all sorts of ways that people can get help, but this is one way that I can help people feel better. And you know, it's not going to cure anything, but just taking that step can mean that you suddenly believe that you can learn new skills, or your confidence grows a bit, or you feel you can chat to somebody when you've been socially isolated. And just taking that step can be the start of something much bigger than what happens in the garden.